welcome back to the AQA GCSE History Conflict and Tension between East and West of 1945 to 1972 revision series. This is episode 10 and we're looking at the Cuban Missile Crisis. Cuba is located to the southeast of North America, just off the coast of Florida. During the Cold War, rich Americans usually holidayed in Cuba. The United States military had several warships stationed off Cuba. Cuba and the USA were allies. America gave military and financial aid to Cuba. Cuban leader Batista was corrupt and unpopular. During 1958, he was defeated and replaced by Fidel Castro. However, in 1959, Castro arrested or exiled many opponents, and as a result, many people fled to the United States. In the beginning, America actually recognized Castro as the new legitimate leader of Cuba. However, as he began to dictate Cuba, the relationships between Cuba and the United States deteriorated rapidly. Especially when Castro took over American-owned businesses, the Cuban exiles in the United States pressured the president to act. In June of 1960, President Eisenhower gave the CIA and Cuban exiles permission and funding to try and overthrow Castro. There were attempts to damage Cuba's economy were made. In the summer of 1960, Castro promised to protect Americans living in Cuba and keep the USA naval bases. But by the summer, Cuba signed an agreement with the USSR. In January of 1961, Kennedy broke off his diplomatic relationship with Cuba. He was determined to overthrow Castro. Some wanted to invade Cuba. Instead, he issued 1,400 weapons to Cuban exiles. In April of 1961, the exiles invaded the Bay of Pigs. This mission failed. They faced 20,000 Cuban troops with tanks. All of the exiles were captured or killed. This was a massive embarrassment for Kennedy and the United States of America. In May of 1962, the USSR announced that they were going to supply weapons to Cuba. In September, Cuba had the best supplied military in the region, including missiles, tanks, jet fighters, and over 5,000 Soviet tanks. Whilst Cuba became extremely militarized, America didn't seem to mind the placement of conventional Soviet arms in Cuba. However, they became very worried that the Soviets would begin to put nuclear weapons in place. In October of 1962, an American spy photographed a new nuclear missile site in Cuba. President Kennedy feared a nuclear war. Some of his advisors proposed to invade Cuba or initiate an airstrike to avoid missile bases. Ultimately, Kennedy decided on a naval blockade. There was serious fear that this could lead to a nuclear war. However, after 4 intense days, everyone stepped down. The reason why the Cuban Missile Crisis and World War III was avoided was because Kennedy and Khrushchev secretly agreed on a plan. Khrushchev was to remove his missiles from Cuba, and Kennedy was to remove the American nuclear missiles from Turkey. The relationship between the superpowers improved after this. So that's the end of episode 10 of the AQA GCSE History Conflict and Tension between East and West of 1945 to 1972 revision series. Next episode we'll be looking at the Prague Spring. Thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed.